live?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of our live streams. I'm so excited to be live streaming today, not only because it's the beginning of spring, but what comes with it. So today is our live stream for the launch of the brand new Sakura strategy set. And this is, you can see Dan, if you can't see the bags under his eyes.
Or the new ones.
The new ones. You should, because the cool thing is we've been, really we haven't been doing the hard work. We've been getting to see the awesome work of the community behind Blinks. And today for our live stream, we're doing something special. This morning, if you're aware, which you should be, because you're on our mailing list and you're paying close attention, the Sakura set went live on our website at 10 a.m. Eastern.
And boy, did it.
It went live, and it went a little bit faster
than
when we expected.
Like, we thought, okay, well, we'll have the launch in the morning, and then we'll do the normal live stream time because it's like 2-3 hours later. What's the big deal?
And we'll share the games, and people can see what they are, and they, they can buy them then.
Yeah, while they're watching.
So, an update to that. Last summer sale took us 4 days to sell out. And so a lot of people showed up and we went, wow, that was awesome. This morning...
That's what gave us the idea to do this again. We thought, oh yeah, in 4 days we could sell out 150 sets. Amazing.
So this morning, within the first hour, 2/3 of that was gone. And here we're on the live stream. I'm not sure. We'll have to check to see if there are any sets left. But the important thing to know is that that's not the only time you can get it. In fact, the most important thing is that's the first batch. We've already started working on making the second batch. And so those are in production. So if you missed out and you didn't, set your alarm for...
I mean, you should go check right now because there were 4 left like a couple minutes ago. Maybe there's still some left. Go try and get one. But if you can't, like John is saying...
Go to the website and be sure to be the first to drop your email because you are first in line to get the ones that are already in production for the next batch. And so that's the spot to do it.
Yeah. And so we thought that, we want to introduce everyone to the games, but we're not the experts in these games. We helped them come to Blinks and we provided support, but the experts in these games are the designers. And we thought, why not just have the designers? And so since, it's still everybody's indoors time, we can't have them in the office. So instead, we have brought everyone here to the live stream, so everyone wave hello. This is 3 of the 4 designers who worked on the Sakura strategy games, and so I'm going to go and I'm going to introduce them in order. I think if you're in the community, you've seen every single one of these people probably on a stream before talking about another game or something, talking about the Global Game Jam, which is going to come up a lot. So let's start on your bottom left. We have David Page. You can unmute, say hello.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, David.
And in the chat, let me know if they're loud enough. I can control the desktop volume, so let me know if they can be heard. David, this is not your first Blinks game, so tell us how we would know you.
Sure. The first attempt at the Blinks game was Battle Balloons, and that was actually part of the summer release you mentioned earlier last year. So I'm new. I'm not new to the whole get it done quick kind of a strategy here, but it's fun.
And David, Battle Balloons, great game from the summer set. Another sort of
strategic.
It's a strategic, but also a sort of like a social, exciting strategic game. That kind of there's a lot of like whoa moments, and there's in that one there's quite literally explosions.
I should note that my cousin Mason, who is 9 years old, I believe, is obsessed with Battle Balloons, and we play over Zoom, which is really fun. And like behind the screen, I'm like, okay, and he's like that. I'm like, point to the one you want, so we have a blast with it.
Great. Right, and then
it's kind of funny how being remote actually is a little easier to play because it's easy to hide something off screen.
And so next we have Aaron Santiago, who is one half of the team that made Trifoil in this pack. Spencer Key could not join us today for this stream, but his opinion will either be represented or misrepresented. It's up to Aaron. So say hello, Aaron.
Hey everyone, it's good to be back on stream. Good to see you both, Daniel.
Yeah,
John.
and Aaron also not a stranger to Blinks Publishing. How would people know of you and Spencer's designs?
Yeah, Spencer and I made Reactor as part of the community set for a Global Game Jam last year, 2020.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
it's still personally my favorite Blinks game. Sorry, everyone.
Reactor's still your personal fave?
Oh yes.
That's
Reactor's fun.
Jamie and I have had some pretty fierce Reactor. I don't play anymore because she wins every single time. It's just not fun for me, and I'm a sore loser. So that's that.
Yeah, reaction games are not your best.
We're not gonna be playing any reaction games today, thankfully. So John stands kind of a chance. Although I watched the two of them play Trifoil earlier, I don't know that John actually stands a chance.
Yeah, we have been playing that a lot lately. It's really fun.
Great. And then last, Bruno Albuquerque, designer of Hexenwood and the we're gonna get into it. The very interesting Hexenwood AI. So, hello. Introduce yourself.
Hi people, first of all, thanks for having me here. It has been a blast working with Blinks in the past month or so. So contrary to the other experienced developers here, this is my first foray into Blinks, except for the best bet game on the Global Game Jam, which was unjustly not mentioned anywhere. I don't know why, but but still, I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah, and Bruno is really underselling himself as somehow this is his first. Hexenwood and Hexenwood AI are some of the most complex from a programming perspective, like some of the most sophisticated behavior we've seen on Blinks. And just the existence of Hexenwood AI, as we're going to get into in this stream, and we did, if you joined us last week on our Thursday video, Hexenwood AI represents a really interesting and bold new step in Blinks games and sort of smart tabletop.
Yeah, Bruno, I'm excited to, and that's just so everybody watching gets to.
Sure.
So in the same order that we've introduced you, we're going to play through these games.
We're gonna play through them.
And so everybody has a chance to actually see gameplay and comment. Also, I think it's really important for people to know, like, the focus of Blinks is bringing these games to life that are being made in the community, and we're overwhelmed with how many awesome ones are coming out.
Yeah.
I wanted to share real quickly just an anecdote. I received a note from a customer yesterday about her son Luke, who saw Blinks in Beta Store, one of the retail stores, and said he wouldn't stop talking about them, and saved up his own money to buy his set. And I'm reading through this customer, it came through our support, and I'm going, okay, what is it? Are
they broken?
What happened? And it's okay. And then she's explaining that this
keep going. Sorry.
The students Luke, he ordered them, and he was like, oh, they're in Queens. That means they should be able to show up, and that's 40 miles away from us. They'll show up tomorrow. And then she was like, well, it's a product. It might not be stored in their, in the headquarters, or, and I'm sitting there just waiting for what fire.
Yeah. What's the complaint at the end of this, or the problem? Yeah. What's the thing? Yeah.
And she just says, he's so excited about it. They showed up. They're amazing. We love them. And he won't stop talking about wanting a developer kit to make his own game for him. And I just wanted to share that with both our designers here on the stream today, but also you watching out there, that it's so cool that what you're doing is inspiring Luke and all of the other future game designers and future creators, that they see the product, and not only are they excited to play it, but they're excited to see what they can make too. So I think that I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's good. That's a good story. Well, I think we should jump into some games. I am going to. Oh, well, first let's share the update.
The update in the.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't gotten your hands on the Sakura set yet, if you're not one of the lucky early ones, you still have the chance to be lucky and early. You just have to go to the page, put your name on that list, and you'll be first in line. So
but yeah, but the inaugural sets have now sold, and we are moving into the second batch of sets, which we have already started processing. So get those fast, because at this point we're going to run out of those too at some point. I mean, the demand is a lot higher than we thought.
What do you think? Let's
Great.
play.
Yeah.
We'll load up bandits.
Yeah, we're gonna load up bandits. I think this is probably an excessive number of blinks to start with, so I'm just gonna put these aside, and I'm gonna put the special ones aside. There.
So I feel like because you also made battle balloons, right? And so it's funny to see. It's like you see a style and you're like, oh, I know who that game designer is. Like just by playing the game, you're like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of cool to say like, oh, I know their style or game or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I wanted to ask David about the origin of this game. Like I thought we could start while we're sort of booting it up. Just tell us, how you started this and how you came up with the idea.
Yeah. So it's funny you should mention that like the games are a little bit similar, because when I design games, my goal is to be basically, if you could read people's minds, then any game I make you should be good at. And like that's kind of a weird I'm trying to get at with games, like almost like human experimentations in micro form. Like if I can tell what you're thinking, then that should drive my action. And like that's kind of the core of how I like games. So that's what I make.
Yeah.
So and how this one came about, I think like all of us on this stream, it was from the Global Game Jam this year, and I didn't really have any ideas, so I posted it on the forum. If anyone has anything they want to do, but they don't have a dev kit or don't have coding experience, whatever, like let's partner up. And someone reached out and said that they've always liked a game. It's like a finger game, like odds and evens, basically, some people call it. So basically, you just 1, 2, or 3, and you're throwing your hands down. And whoever has the highest unique number wins, and it's like kind of like a way to decide something, right? Like rolling dice or rock paper scissors or something like that. Flip a coin. I don't know. So we just went with that simple idea during the weekend. And it was a lot of fun it was my first game jam. So it was a lot of fun to make something in like a span of 48 hours and actually see, nothing into at least something. And
I didn't realize that was your first game jam. I was not. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I'm a real game jam like enthusiast. I had not considered that it could be someone's first game jam making a Blinks game. And that's cool.
Yeah. I did maybe a personal game jam for Battle Balloons. I made that over a weekend as well, but it wasn't affiliated with anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the origin of it. Just someone else's idea, and that I brought to life and tried to, work a lot with Dan on improving it over the past, I don't know, month.
Yeah, and that's something that's really great about like game jams and also working with the community. Is like, yes, it's great to develop a game very quickly and you can get to this amazing place, but there's no reason to not then take that great idea and go, okay, well, let's add. One of the things we talked about right after the game jam was the stealing from multiple layers, which everyone's going to see in a second, and that turned it from like, okay, yeah, interesting strategy, to like, oh, this is a very different, very interesting game all of a sudden. And so we'll boot this up. So to start a game of bandits, we got to get a bunch of blinks. Yep. All these blinks are bandits. You can see because they're sort of doing this spooky, hidden, swirly thing.
Sneaking around.
Yeah, and they have all stolen this diamond, which is in the middle. So we should choose some team colors. I'd like to be orange, given the choice.
I'll be blue.
We can change. So we're not playing in necessarily the prescribed way of playing, which is that we usually would have just sort of a big pot of loose bandits in the middle that we could pull from later. But just for the live stream, we're gonna like just sort of make some so we can play some rounds. David, why don't you talk us through what a round of bandits looks like, and we'll sort of act it out for everybody.
Sure. So you take turns placing your bandit onto the treasure, the diamond, and that's your way of trying to steal the more diamonds out of the bag, if you want to think of it like that. And the goal is to be the highest unique number, and you can choose your bids from 1, 2, or 3. And you single click to cycle through the bidding, and
then it goes hidden after you leave it for like a second, just sort of goes away, right?
yeah.
So I shouldn't be showing them this. I should be doing this secretly.
Right.
They shouldn't be able to see me doing this.
I'm gonna choose a number.
Oh, Jamie's going full secret. I was doing stage secrets.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing to note when you're deciding is that the scoring is basically inverted from your bid. So the 3 scores the least, but the 1 scores the most.
So we are going to see the results of this round. I'm going to double click, and the diamond is going to calculate the results. We'll see what everyone bid. Oh, we both bid 2.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
We both bid 2, yeah.
So Jamie and I both bid 2 because we were trying to be reasonable. We wanted to bid a lower number to get more points, and John just went ahead and bid 3 and won the round.
Personalities come out very strong here.
It's very true.
The least reasonable person in the room.
I'm also very prone to, I shouldn't say this, I'm a very bid 1 all the time person. I'm just like, because if you win with it, it's so many points. Like, yeah, I'll lose a couple rounds, fine. But when I win with that 1,
It incentivizes you just not to just do 3. We played with a couple, our friends Ian and Faye, and Ian he's so smart at these types of games. Like he always is able to choose the one that like no one else. Yeah, he just has that intuition. That
I wish I had that. But yeah. So I'm gonna move this just for our sake.
Off to an early lead.
Yeah.
It's like me with the diamonds in my hand running.
Yeah,
but it's weighing me down.
So John, you have to go
You're
first.
You're not out yet.
Yeah, you're not out yet. You're not gone. You gotta go first.
So I get to go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that many choices. What are you doing?
I'm not sure if that was hidden.
I would like to steal, please. All right, let's see if it happens. Come on. Oh, no.
Dan and I think too similarly.
Oh, no.
Okay. I almost put 1.
Yes. I know it happens very quick for those who are watching, but Jamie and I both got real like, oh, we're going to bid 3. We're going to just win the round. I was like, I'm going to steal points from John. He shouldn't have so many points. And John did the smart thing. He bid 1, and he got 5 points, which is the most points you can get.
It was also because you were just like, well, I'm the type of person who always bids 1. And you said that, so I was like, oh, I should have known that you weren't actually going to bid 1 then.
This is a disaster.
And I felt like, well, if Dan just revealed his strategy of bidding 1, he's probably not going to
bid 1,
that.
yeah.
Now you know what I'm going to do. All right. John gets to go first again.
Okay.
Bidding in the middle.
The verbal fake out's a big part of it.
Wait, David, what?
I said the verbal fake out's another aspect of it.
Oh,
like,
everyone bid 2.
The 3, and then
Everyone bid 2. Nothing happens. All right.
It's just so hard to think what you guys are
do
gonna
I?
do.
No, you're still first.
I'm still first. Okay.
It's just hard to think about what you guys are gonna do.
Shoot. I just revealed something, but
Did
then
you?
maybe not.
Oh, I didn't pay. I wasn't paying attention.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
3, 3, 2. All right.
Nice.
And now I've done what I was hoping to do, which is take John's amazing 5 points and turn it into just 2 points and get myself 3. So when you steal from another person, instead of getting that inverse points, you get half their points rounded up. And so John, amazing to get 5 points, but it makes him very vulnerable because I can now steal 3 points, which is the best steal you can do. But I'm not out of the woods yet. Somebody could steal from me starting now. So you're never quite safe.
Also, Aaron and Bruno, you're welcome to unmute during this part.
If you have peanut gallery comments you want to make. I am
enjoying this
first.
I almost bid 1 on the last one. I mean, John would have won again. I'd be so upset.
I'm gonna bid in the middle for the first time in a while.
I'm gonna go in the middle.
I think John's supposed to do
Oh, that's right. Whoops.
You know what?
That's
Sorry.
okay. I was gonna go off.
John
to the
takes
side
longer
there.
to decide.
It's playing
Come on,
games
come on,
with
come
me
on,
is
come
a
on, come
slow
on.
process.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
wait,
no.
Oh wait. You put.
Hold on.
What? Wait. Whose was? I forgot.
Let's see.
I bid 3.
Yeah. You bid 3. I bid 1, and Dan
Oh.
bid 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's see.
Huh?
Yeah, this one's
A little bug, a little
Yeah.
bug, and
well, no, it's a communication issue. Here, put that back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, we'll go on with this. There was some memory problems with this game at some point, and we made some changes very recently, which we don't usually like to do this close to release, but I will sort this out. Yeah.
cool. So let's, for the time being, you want to replace that one, and
Yeah, hold on.
and then we can see if we can get one more move in place, and then we can't spend the whole stream playing heist, or sorry,
Yeah.
Bandits.
playing bandits.
Playing bandits. Yeah. Oh well, you won again. So.
That was how it was last week.
Yeah,
I
that's
think you had 3. and
that
you
was
both
yeah,
had
that was what it was. This one,
Cool.
the alignment went off.
Ah, boo.
All right. So
Yeah.
I mean, feeling pretty strong with my lead here.
Mm-hmm.
You want one more round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and
Victory
so
lap.
John's out of blinks because of the way we did it. But normally, when you play, you just have a bunch of blinks off to the side, and when you win a round and you leave your blink connected, you just grab a new one and change it to your color, like John just did. You just change it to yellow. But because Jamie and I haven't won that many times, we don't have that problem.
These are called big pocket problems.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yay!
you won.
Finally!
Beautiful.
Yeah. I was trying to steal from
Nice.
myself. It didn't go anywhere.
All right. So should we wrap on? I mean,
Yes. Yeah, I think this is gonna be John is winning by so much that it's not worth discussing. But yeah, this is this is a great game for 3 to 6 players. Really interesting strategy, like David said. If you could read minds, you'd be perfect at it, which I think is a great description of the games that you've made. And yeah, I'm really excited to see those sort of moments of people, doing 5 people all bidding and then double clicking, and just the excitement of you saw us do it, where 2 people bid 3 and 1 person bid 1. I mean, that's the best feeling. That's how you want to do it every time.
and I just have to say, I think, I don't know. I've been having a blast playing this. We've been play testing it lots before we ship games. All the designers are play testing their games, making sure they're working out all the kinks. And so it's kind of the coolest thing about being a game studio, a game company, is that the things we get to stay up late at night doing are pretty fun. So, all right, David, I can't wait for people to be playing Bandits. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, same. That's good stuff.
Let's install the next one. So it's right here. We don't need that many blinks for this, so we're gonna put a lot of these aside. Actually, wait.
We could have a lot of blinks, but we would just be here for a while.
We could. I want to show off one thing, which is I like the reset function in this game. Just everyone goes back to bandits, so you can play again, which I think looks cool. But give me 5 of those.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna give you. I'm gonna give you 10.
Do whatever you want.
So that we can at least
Ooh.
just show what it.
Okay,
We'll
yeah,
play
yeah,
a short game of it, but
So, Aaron, why don't you tell us about Trifoil and how it got started?
Sure. Where do I start? Trifoil actually was an idea that we came up with before last year's Global Game Jam. And I think because we weren't super familiar with the platform, we were a little scared of some of the features that we wanted. And this year, everything had to be remote. I'm based in the Midwest right now, and Spencer's based in at the time he was based in Vermont. And this turned out to just be the perfect idea to run with. We were like, we can do this over Google Sheets. We can just play with the rule set all weekend, and that's what we did. So Trifoil was basically just the goal being to create a deep strategy game that could be played with just a sushi roll of blinks. Like that was our mission statement. I think we did what we set out to do there.
I like that as a design paradigm. It's like there's when we launched the first games, that was one of the initial challenges. Was like, okay, how few blinks can you play with? You'll see on this stream that we are on both ends of that spectrum here. But yeah, so games that you can just put in your pocket and play anywhere definitely means that you'll get people like Jamie and I who will be like, okay, let's break it out real quickly.
Yeah. Trifoil is a great 6-blink game, which is important to have on the platform. But also one of the things that we liked about Trifoil, and the reason that it's in this pack, or the reason it was, we wanted to publish it, is that great 6-blink game that is also a 10-blink game and a 12-blink game and a 15-blink game. Whereas, like, you could potentially design a 6-blink game that doesn't work with 10, but this is so much better. This is why this is such a great game.
I've got a question here.
While we were
Go ahead.
Sorry. While we were developing, actually, we started with the 12-blink board. It wasn't until late that we got all the rules set up that we were like, okay, let's try 6 blinks. Then we started messing around with getting that to work there too.
I was just gonna ask because I was curious to know about your balancing process. Like, this is, the game's description is that it's a lot like chess or Go, and those are games that just are so well balenced that people become lifetime masters of these games. Trifoil has similarly very simple rule set. But yeah, how'd you go about balancing and thinking about that?
Right. That's actually a super funny story because we towards the end of the weekend, right, Global Game Jam, and even further, we did a bunch of play tests, right? We wanted to play with people from the community just because we were excited to see people play it. It's one of the best things about game jams in general, and we wanted to get feedback on how the game was working. And Spencer and I found out we were really bad at the game as you're supposed to play it, because what we would do during development is we would lose, and then we'd take a step back and go like, okay, what happened to make us lose? And is that good or bad for the game? And then, we talk about it for a little while, then we run it back a couple turns and then keep playing. So in all of our games, we thought we were like super geniuses coming up with these crazy scenarios because we had, dived deep into like the game tree. But what it turned out is that we were really bad at detecting losing states because we just trained ourselves to like not care about it, or like to like not even just to be excited about it. It's like, oh, that caused a loss. Like, was it interesting or was it not? So I think in general that was how we approached all of this. Is like we would play through a game like as deeply as we felt comfortable, I guess, something that would like represent a realistic game scenario, right, for experienced players, and then we talk about like what the pitfalls were and if we need to make adjustments to the rule sets to compensate.
Cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like one of the first strategy games to come out of a game jam for Blinks was Barry. And the designers of Barry, Vivi and Vanilla, the founders of Indiecade, where they're going, just like I've got them on video going, this is so well balanced. Like they really thought this through. And there's one rule in that game that people are like, oh, why does that exist? And I just remember, I think Vivi responded, she was like, oh yeah, that was to prevent a second move win.
Right.
And without it, the game breaks. And it was like, cool. And so there was like, everything's very simple, but then there's like one thing.
Yeah, one special rule that if you didn't have it, it'd be problematic. Yeah. Well, I think you should play. The two of you should play. You should get a rematch, or at least the beginnings of a rematch.
Should we do six or 10?
I think we should do 6.
I think we should do 6.
I'll do a solitaire game on this, which is gibberish.
Yeah, and John and I have been playing a lot at home, and it's funny because like when we both played it, we're so used to we just kind of played the simple roles, and I think I was like scared to try some of the more advanced maneuvers, and then like we're like, okay, we won pretty fast, but then once you do incorporate those, you're like, oh no, this turns into a way a longer, more interesting game for sure. So
John on his turn, just to commentate, he placed a link. He chose a spot, and then he chose a direction. He placed a link, and then he double clicked to make it Jamie's turn. And now
And
Jamie's going to go.
This is kind of the first time anybody's used this mechanic before. You select the one you're going to place on, and then you choose one of the blinks around it for which direction or which kind of like Mancala bucket you're going to place the stone in.
But it's still internal to the blink itself, and it produces, Aaron, you should talk about this, it produces this sort of incidental rule about where you can and can't place things.
Yep.
Right.
So like that, that was interesting because if I wanted this to like face this way, you can't.
There
so
isn't
that
something to
helps you
click.
block and do things later. And you're trying to get 5 blinks.
Trying to get on this size board, trying to get
This
5.
size. Okay. Yep. So I'm gonna go here. Face off right away.
I think the face off.
Yep.
The way you got to play this.
And then I lock it in by clicking twice.
Okay.
We had such a good game earlier today.
Yeah, we were filming the instructional videos, and we just filmed them playing a whole game, so we could use it as B-roll, and it was really interesting.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's see what we can do here. And okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go here. Okay, lock that in. The interesting thing here is, I'm not at a point where I imagine that Aaron's probably like, not a good move.
It wasn't a great move.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I like to at this point kind of like see like how many moves ahead can I think about. Like one of my favorite aspects of this game is like I feel like the thing that feels like it came out of nowhere is the rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
I feel
I'm
like
hoping that I can.
I don't feel like we're advanced enough to know good strategies yet. I feel like I sometimes don't know the sort of strategy I'm doing until way later, until like we're into the game. And I don't have any specific moves yet that I feel like are like my go-tos necessarily at the moment. I've been doing a lot of these though, kind of like double corners.
Yeah, those are good. Those show up in Spencer and my meta a lot.
Yeah,
as well.
I feel like I've been doing a lot of those because sometimes when I think it opens you up to certain things.
I mean, even for us, rotations tend to break our brains. I think it's something about the way the blinks are shaped makes it really hard to keep track of.
Wait, are you the minority there?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I am the minority.
Yeah, and you can put John's stuff really far apart right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So I was hoping, great move. You lock.
Oh,
you
wait.
lock it in.
Oh yeah, because I'm red. Yeah. I was like, oh no. I was like, wait, I'm red.
That's okay. So Jamie was able to spin this triangle, this part of the board, because she is the minority presence there. There are 2 of John's pieces and only 1 of hers. If there were 2 of hers and 2 of John's, she wouldn't be able to move it. Similarly, because in this triangle there's 2 of Jamie's pieces and 1 of John's, John could spin that, but Jamie can't. Yeah.
And this is when you say you've been trifoiled.
Well, I wouldn't, but you can.
So I was hoping, I was like all excited that I was in the minority
But now all your
there.
stuff is all blown apart now,
and
scattered to the wind.
Okay.
You are in the minority in 2 areas, so it doesn't.
Can you win on a next? So I feel like I can make a pretty aggressive run for this. I'm gonna hold and sit on this for a minute.
Ooh, that is aggressive.
I'm gonna think about this for a
That's
little
pretty
bit.
good.
And so we're also seeing a fun graphic effect here, which is now that John has a chain of sort of some length, you're seeing this little dark ball that every once in a while, and you can see it on this little demo thing I made over here. Every once in a while, a little dark ball just runs across the chain, and that's a great thing that Spencer and Aaron added just to help visualize, like, hey, that's a chain, and it looks really cool.
Okay, so these 3.
I think I'm gonna lock that in.
Lock it in?
Although I do want to show this, which is if I triple click, it removes my turn. It gives me a nice, which I think is really helpful in this game. Simply because like maybe
especially if you're like playing it just to analyze it and not just and you want to like talk about it. It's really helpful.
it just backs you up to the last time you locked in, kind of like paintbrush.
Yeah, it's just
Let's see. Jonas says, "Is it
Yeah.
just me, or is there complexity strategy of the game improving from set to set?"
I think yeah. I mean, there's two elements. Like one, the community is producing not only better games but also more games. Which means, for instance, we curated, we chose this. We had lots of choices, but we loved the strategic element of all three of these games, and we thought this would make an amazing. That's why it's the Sakura strategy set, not just the sort of springtime from Move 38 set. But it may be that the next time we do one of these, it's the amazing action, and it could be games that are super actiony and yeah, like the games are improving.
Genre.
Yeah, the games are improving in every direction, and we sort of thought, well, this is a good time to release some strategy games. So yeah,
and that's what we were hearing on the boards was like, what's the next level strategy game I can play? And I think the game system with 9 blinks starts you off in a spot where you can get familiar with how blinks work. It's some fun games that you can play with people real quickly. There's some deep strategy in there too, like Paintbrush.
Yeah.
But I would say the game system itself doesn't come with a lot of deep strategy.
No.
That's why you get the Master Strategist pack, or you get the Sakura strategy.
Yeah.
What did I just get? Like, oh man,
no, you got blocked, but not irreconcilable.
Oh, I think actually I can win on this.
Oh shoot, you can win on this.
And
Oh no! I
Yeah,
just
you
saw
can.
it.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Oh,
So-
wait, can you? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you totally can.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a spin. Yeah.
No,
Spin-
not
spin
even. You
out of
don't even
place.
need a spin.
I
give you 2 options.
So
Oh,
the
there's 2
two
ways to do it.
spots. So
Do it in the spin way. It's cool.
yeah, this is, well now I need to find the spin.
You don't know the
So
spin?
hold on, I need to find my minority first. So I'm in the minority over here. So I'm gonna have to spin this. So I could do. Oh yeah, that is cooler. That's
cooler.
1,
Okay.
Two.
And there's 5.
and there's
Ah,
my
you beat
5.
me.
That is a.
A cooler. It's a
That was a
win.
cooler win. That's like when like you're so far ahead of everybody on the basketball
Hey.
court,
Yeah, you
and you're like you just
Yeah.
backwards dunk.
Yeah.
But
Style
usually when
points.
I do that, I like hit the rim and then like
Mhm.
fall over and
Yeah. But you got it this time. Well, that's good. It's a retribution from earlier
I beat
today's
him twice
bad
earlier.
loss.
this is
Yeah.
the first.
I
That's
know.
the first game I've won against you.
Yeah,
It's
that's good.
here. It's here
And
on live
I was
stream.
saying you were gonna lose.
I know.
I jinxed it.
That's-
But
Yeah.
just wait for the live stream to come up and show everyone how it's done.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
That happened when we filmed a video that I think was posted recently. I think 2 weeks ago about an unused game, and while we were on video, it like suddenly got a lot more fun. I was like, oh, we should do videos more often.
Yeah.
It turns bad things good. And then I'm gonna reset this so that after you're done playing, there you go, back to 0.
That was serious GG. How are we
Yeah.
on time? Should we
We're
load
good,
up?
Yeah.
Um,
I think Bruno's been waiting very patiently in the sort
Yeah.
of center right of the screen here, and we should boot up this game.
so before we do that, let me actually. We're not going to start with all of them out, but let's give this a proper setup here.
So Bruno, why don't you, while John's off getting an incredible amount of blinks, tell us about Hexenwood.
Okay, so I think my approach to game design is basically I'm not a game designer. So what I used to come up with this was mostly going from the other end of things, right? So I thought Blinks was a very interesting platform to develop for. So I started considering what could I do to test the limits of the platform, basically, right? So my first idea was not like, let me do this cool game. My first idea was just like, how far can I push this, right? And then to do that, I had to do a lot of work, tangential work related to writing the game. So I had to create some libraries, some new libraries to be able to do what I wanted to do. And the moment I actually got the idea for a game was basically when lots of interesting things that I can do. So, but how, which game could I do to do that, right? And I used to play considerable time ago a very nice strategy game on my computer. It's a game called Hexagon. It was actually based on a previous game called Attacks or something like that, and it was designed in 1984. So the original game was designed in 1984. So because it was a full-fledged PC game, right? But not a 3D first-person shooter or anything, but it was still a full-fledged PC game. I thought that. And because the pieces on the game were actually hexagons, I said, well, that's a perfect match to Blink, right? So I decided that I wanted to do it. And at that point in time, I was not really sure that I could because like it is, although each Blink is a full-fledged computer, like you do have limitations on the amount of memory that you have, and you have limitations on the amount of storage space that you have. And that's okay, right? Like you can still do amazing games even with that. But I just decided that I didn't want to take that into account and approach from the other side. So I wanted to do this game, and I would do whatever I need to do to make it work. And that's how Hexenwood came up. It basically it's a Blink implementation of the original at Apex or at Attacks and the Hexagon version. And it implements like everything that you see on the PC version, and it has several Blink specific mechanics. The mostly notably is that originally the game was only a 2-player game, and I decided to do a 4-player version just because I thought it would be more interesting.
We're gonna start to play a 3-player game right now, and we can kind of vamp over it. But I would like to be yellow. And so this is the 4 patterns. And while you're choosing the patterns, while you're choosing your trees, I want to talk about actually how we ended up with this really interesting visual look that Hexenwood has. I mean, probably go over there. Which is that when we did a play test with just sort of solid colors, we had some trouble with legibility, especially for people who had either color blindness or just reduced color vision. And so since it was tree themed, we ended up changing it so that every color has a unique pattern of lights. So this is like the blue spruce, which is 5 and 1 off. This is red maple, which is 3 on, and then like we're 4 on in this pattern. This is the yellow larch. We have names for all of these. And I think there's the purple birch, which is the one we're not, nobody's playing as there. And so yeah, we have the. I'm actually going to play as purple. Looks better on camera. Yeah, so this is the sort of super different look, and then the trees, instead of being a solid color, are the slightly organic 3 points of light. But to start a game, I'm going to double click, and we are now watching it map. And so this is one of the really sophisticated things that it maps the whole world. And this will come up later when we have our special robot friend join us, but you go first.
I'm like, speaking of robot friend.
Yeah.
So Jamie, you're gonna start us off.
Remind me.
So you select the tree.
Yeah, perfect. So go ahead and you tap any piece that you're able to move. So
which you only have one.
You only have one.
Okay. And I can't. I don't tap myself first. I just can't remember. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
So click one. Yep.
So,
Perfect.
Yep. And it tells you your move options.
Well, I'm just gonna go here.
Now this game is going to be ridiculous because we're so close together right now. Like I didn't make a very long board. I made it very close. John is going second.
And also you can like jump over stuff.
Yeah.
So Jamie's in actually a pretty.
I mean, all positions are dangerous on this board. Everyone's.
Yeah, because we're so close.
Yeah.
I see.
So John has 3 choices to spread forward. That's the solid pattern. That means he will get a second tree like Jamie did. Or he has 4 choices to jump. If he jumps, this tree will disappear and reappear there. So it moves faster, but it doesn't spread your influence. So it's risky in a lot of ways.
Right. In some senses, well, yeah, I feel like I'm going to get wiped out next move. So
So one important thing when playing the game is that the actual board design is very important. So the way that you made the jump basically just gives John now one single move that
I get one move.
Actually no, you don't. You have no move. Any move that you do, you lose. So
Exactly.
that's part of the thing, right?
So yeah, I was just gonna say because Jamie can jump and eliminate me from anywhere, or you can. Well, it kind of depends. Yeah,
We'll see what
I
happens.
could say, well, maybe Dan, you don't want to. Nah, you would of course take me over.
We'll see.
Okay, so since it doesn't matter, I'll go there.
I mean, anything I do is under the same
Yeah.
threat.
Mm-hmm.
We are both threatened here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go
It just depends on who Jamie likes more.
that way.
Oh, interesting. So neither of us chose to put Jamie in threat.
No, because Jamie's gonna be sort of kingmaker of this game.
Maybe.
Or you
I've
can,
been known to lose this game. I'm John's beating me, I think, every
Jamie
time.
can decide who she will eliminate now, right?
Yeah.
She can do.
Probably John. Well,
You probably should.
yep. So.
Yeah, give it a go. Well, I had my run.
Yeah. But now the
interesting.
2-player game is afoot.
This is
You know, and it's tough because I think with this game I'm so short-sighted, which is bad as chess. But I'm like, oh, here I'll get the most. But then if you go next to those,
be a big
you could
deal.
also.
That's pretty
get a
It's
lot.
not a bad move.
Yeah, it's actually quite good.
Because the most that
That's true.
I'm just trying to make sure
Although-
I don't get eliminated. Like I'm just trying to maintain something that can't get eliminated.
Yeah, I think Dan's in a pretty strong.
Yeah, I feel like you're
spot
in a
here,
very
though.
strong spot.
Kind of.
Although,
Because I'm debating whether I could just continue. Yeah, I guess this isn't bad actually because
That's very good.
yeah,
If
it's
you
not
hadn't done that,
bad.
you'd have been in trouble.
Yeah,
I was going.
Yeah,
I was going to make trouble for you.
As you should.
Oh, I feel like
I tend to play this game very aggressively, which doesn't.
Yeah, but it's good.
Well, doesn't always work out. But that's I think I said this on the Hexenwood AI video. If I'm gonna lose, I like to lose fast, and then play another game. You know,
Yeah.
like play another round. So notice that like these two pieces are not flashing right now. There's no legal
They're
moves to be
kinda
made from
locked
here,
in,
so they're
yeah.
just
Oh,
not
yeah.
part of the game right now. That's really helpful. I think one of the great things about this game is that yes, it's a very deep strategy game that you can get really good at over playing it hundreds of times, but also it self-enforces its own rules a lot, which means that you don't have to understand it the first time you play. Like it just prevents you from doing things wrong, pretty much.
what happens if I do this?
It tells you that you've done it, and it gets very mad at you.
Oh, okay, cool.
With
So,
that.
You got to put that back in that orientation. Do you put it back in that orientation? Did you?
I put it in the right orientation.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I think it would let me know if I put it in the wrong orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause
It
they
basically
memorize
it's
board
letting
games.
every face that should be connected that it's
Yeah.
not. So yeah.
Go ahead.
So one thing that I tried to do, because I was trying to make a PC game of Blinks, was exactly making the board act as a single entity. So most Blink games, every Blink knows what they need to do, right? To know to actually be part of the game, but generally they don't know about the entire game. In the case of Hexenwood, every single Blink knows what is happening at any part of the board. So the board itself acts as a single entity, which was one of the things that I wanted to do.
It's sort of a. I mean, this is. I have to say, Bruno, you're speaking like this is the idea of the the sum working as a whole and more than its parts here and being sort of its own organism.
Oh yeah, you crushed me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did go first though on a very small board.
It was a very
So
small board.
I did get an advantage.
Yeah.
But it's just I was just gonna say it's just such a the kinds of tools that you built to make this game really work are the kinds of systems thinking that kind of founded the idea of this game system was, what if we play differently? What if we play in a way that is, yeah, like all these concepts that the internet works this way, cell phones work this way, blockchain works this way. What if people are thinking in these ways? And so it's so cool to see it. So you don't need to know a thing about technology to play this game.
Yeah.
You could just pop in, my mom, my brother, like we could sit down and play this.
Well,
also,
great, good run on that. Because we're running sort of towards the end, and we really want to show off this last thing. We are gonna bring in the extraordinary number of blinks, reset everything, and we
So
are going to play with. I'll leave that like this, yes.
And then I'm gonna bring some. So you go ahead and what do you think? You gonna pit two AIs or?
I was just gonna play against one.
Okay, cool.
I was just gonna let this be an AI.
All right, so I'm just gonna surround this board.
So one other thing that I did just because I could, basically, there's probably no sane reason to do that, is that the game supports up to 128 blinks. Like you can create a 128 blinks board, right? And it will work without any issues, right? But there are probably very few people currently with 128 blinks to play it with that, like that. So.
Oh, just in time. So what I've got here is Hexenwood AI. It is the first of its kind. This individual blink knows how to play Hexenwood like a human being. So I haven't installed it on any other blinks. I've just got it on its own. And you can see its little waiting face. It looks like one of the tree patterns. I can change its difficulty from 1 to 2 to 3. I'm going to put it on 3. I can double click it to change which color it is. I usually make the AI purple. I find it the most sinister.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna say red. Always gives me that like howl.
This is ghostly to me. Like it's
too like the howl, like
Yeah. So now that I've attached it, it recognizes it's attached to a game, so it now spins solidly instead of this little waiting spin. And then I am going to set up a starting position. Well, what do you think, John?
I mean, I would just start yourselves on opposite sides, yeah?
All right. I'm going to start myself yellow here. I'm going to start the computer, the Blink AI, purple over there. And it's not important that this is near that. I could put it over here if I wanted to. I just find that, like, as a human being, I like to have some sense that my opponent is over there and I'm over here, but it's totally meaningless. And I think every once in a while I'll show it to someone. They go, "Oh, is it important?" I go, "No, it's not important that you do that. It just helps me, understand that I'm fighting this thing. It'd be just as happy over here, over here, over there."
Well, I think first of all, I think we should all place our bets.
Oh, the computer.
Who's gonna win here? Aaron, David.
What do you have? Level 3.
It's level 3.
What level is the AI? What level
3.
It's level 3. It's a lot of
okay, so I vote on the AI.
Me too. Then
I saw them playing
AI.
against it, so.
If the smart money's on AI, I'll follow his lead.
Yeah.
I'll put my bet on Dan.
All right,
Very
$1,
stupid.
$1.
So one interesting thing about the AI is that, like, although it was connected like at the start of the game, it doesn't need to. You can connect the AI at any point in time. You can even like just put it to play for you for a while and then remove it. Like you can basically do whatever you want.
I think what I really like about the AI is that it behaves like a human in the sense that, like, it is just taking the actions that I can. It is choosing a blink to start with, and then it is going. It's not like just sort of a tree appears in the world. I kind of like that it has this, and it has that thinking. You see it thinking, and it's a very intimidating spin.
I also like that when it beats you, that it spits in your face.
It takes your lunch money.
That's right.
All right. Again, like I said, if I'm going to lose, actually no. Let's see if it takes the bait. I will say level 3 does not engage a lot. Level 3 is fairly safety conscious. It won't just make a sort of mad leap to take your stuff. I'm going to say that, and then it's going to do it. But I find that
makes me change my strategy.
Level 3 is fairly safety conscious, but let's see. I mean, it's thinking about this quite a bit. Yeah, see, it's been a fool.
So the reason you have that impression is because it actually computes a score to do a move, right? And if you just duplicate a piece, you get a bonus on your score. So it always tries to do moves that will involve duplicating pieces, especially if the counter move, like if it jumps to get pieces and then you duplicate a piece, it most likely won't jump because it knows that you get a higher score because of that, right? So most of the time this makes sense, but not 100% of the time. That's why the AI is not perfect, but yeah.
I think my hyper aggressive
So
strategy.
I suspect it will jump now. This is,
yeah. You
Yeah.
think to here?
I'd go.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I actually
It's
honestly
very-
didn't see that. I genuinely did not see that as aha.
Oh.
Well, okay, good. Well, now that everyone's
I'm
warned
actually
me,
surprised. And the reason it did it is because there
Just
was
keep
a
it together.
counter move that you could do that you would take away, you would take back most of the pieces.
Is it gonna go
That's
there
why
now?
you
Yeah,
didn't
for
bother
sure.
jumping.
Oh,
you
because
sure?
now it's
Yeah.
a
So
higher
yeah, you
amount
just
that
get
it can.
somewhere
I'm
there,
sure.
and then you would get like most of the pieces back. So
But
that
that
would
wouldn't be
happen.
good because if it loses this piece, it can't gain that one.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna seal
You've
this.
gotta
I'm
seal
gonna
that
seal
off.
this exit,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna get weird with it.
This might be to you, Dan.
Yeah, and also, yeah, because these are basically, well, except for if they hop here, those
Yeah.
are kind of yours.
Oh,
I'm
there
not,
was
I'm
one.
not totally safe.
There's one more opening. Oh,
And you
you're
can see
more
that it is
opening.
because it's
It-
it's there,
It's
but it just
gotta
doesn't.
be looking at
But
it.
the problem is that it wouldn't take this one, which means I could just come back with it. Now
Right.
let's see what it does if I do irresponsible human things.
So this is the secret to beating the AI. If you know how it thinks, you most likely
It's-
can beat it, right? And you're right that it probably won't try to take the bottom part of the board
Mhm.
because it doesn't think it's worth it. So even if
Yeah,
it is,
because
it would be.
David's game, if you know your
Mm.
opponent,
Yeah.
then it's like
Although I am kind of losing ground here at a rate that I'm not comfortable with.
we made an aggressive
I know,
for
but
that one,
yeah,
just to test
it's gonna
it.
go from here to here, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. 'Cause that's the only reasonable move.
But you're doing a lot better today. You have been training, right?
I mean, I have been playing it, yeah. Although I don't have this many blinks at home. I play with 18 blinks.
Jamie and I play with. This
Sometimes
is.
we play with this
We
amount.
do this amount. We
Yeah,
do like
us
a.
too.
So my games are much shorter than this, which is probably part of why I'm so aggressive. Is like there's only so much time on this blink Earth. You know, you gotta get while you can. I think I've. Oh, no, we're gonna tie or something.
No.
No, because he can still make this jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah,
you
this is
didn't
gonna
block
get-
the AI yet. So
This
yeah,
is gonna get
the AI
annoying.
is
'Cause it's
still-
gonna come over here, and then I'm gonna have to deal with a lot of nonsense. I think this is it though.
But now
That
it
blocks it
yeah,
off.
that
Yeah, now-
blocks
That
it.
was a good move. That was.
But
That was
do I own
great.
half the world? Oh well, I get to
I
finish
think
my
you do.
game.
You win. Now you win for a little bit, but you win.
We're also seeing that when a team can't make a move, it just skips their turn, and it becomes my turn. Oh, I got it. Just barely, by the way.
Alright.
Like just to point out that like this is the halfway mark. I won by a little bit, by 2.
Only two.
You won by 2.
Two
Yeah.
blinks. Oh,
Yeah.
That's.
that's impressive. That's one of our strategies. Is definitely like trying to cut people
And,
off.
and
from
what's
the
great is like this is
edges.
just this board shape. Like this is a
Right.
very standard like board shape. You could play with like weird clusters and like bridges and like you could play with all sorts of interesting board shapes and have very like this strategy I had of jump ahead and then cut him off. That doesn't work on every board shape.
Right.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So one interesting thing here is that the reason the AI lost is because it's unable to see when you are trying to like cut it down. So it doesn't really care about being closed up and not being able to move, right?
Yeah.
I actually have some experimental code that changes that. It's not
Yeah.
working yet, but
Oh.
it actually changes
Yeah.
that, and then that would be a level 4 AI because you won't be able to cut it off. Like basically, it would just like, yeah, no, sorry, and then it
Yeah.
will move.
That'll be
Like,
cool. Yeah. And
good
I
luck.
think that the other thing is like I won this game because I've been playing against the AI a lot.
You
So,
think.
Yeah.
I am now like aware of its proclivity. That's like I said at the beginning. Like it's triple click. I was like it's pretty safety conscious, so I was able to take advantage of that. But I will say I don't always win on 18 blinks because I don't have the breathing room to make mistakes on 18 blinks. Like on this one, you saw I made several mistakes that it didn't capitalize on. That never happens on 18 blinks. You make a mistake and it gets you. You know.
That was
Well, you know
that
what they
was
say
awesome.
in the Blinks world, pay up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what they always say. And now I get to take this AI blink, and this one is mine. But yeah, and like we just played with one. I could install this AI software on 3 other blinks, and we could have 4 AIs just fighting it out on this board, and I think that's really cool.
I think as we sign off, I feel like that's what we should do. Like this is
Sure.
roll the credits
just put,
and load
we'll
up.
Put 4 level 1 AIs because they make decisions in the blink of an eye because they're real dumb. They do not think hard about what they're gonna do.
The level 1 AI actually do not think at all. It just do random moves. The only rule is that it will never jump unless it can capture some species, right? Like so. Other than that, it's just literally random moves. It's mostly for people to learn how to play the game and not to have a challenge. And the level 3 AI is like it's supposed to be a challenge, but it's not supposed to be unbeatable. Like even if I could come up with an unbeatable AI, that's not fun, right? Like people need to be able to beat the AI, otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, this is cool. I feel like
The Space Invader board.
this is pretty Space
These are all
Invader.
level 1 AIs, so they're not deep thinkers at this point.
Oh, I like it. They're gonna play like me.
AI battle will be great for demos at cons. Yeah,
Look at Red going.
I think.
Wow,
They move so fast.
Yeah, they're moving so fast.
They are. Oh, they're jumping already.
Oh wow.
They're going for each other immediately.
Yeah,
Out of the gate.
Oh, really? You didn't take the oppie? They do.
Right.
Oh, level 1. Yeah, well, they tried.
They're so cute.
They do. Well, that's weird.
Oh,
Weird moves.
that was actually a decent move by Yellow after making a mistake.
Oh wow.
Well, maybe not. That's why I'm level 1.
I'm
They do a
curious
lot of
who's
jumping.
gonna be the first out of this game.
I mean, Yellow.
This is kind of like betting on turtles at the bar.
Well, I said this in the video we filmed about the AI. It's like putting Super Smash Brothers level 9, level 8, like AIs against each other and just watching that, which is maybe one of my favorite things to do. Well, I don't. I know that we booked everyone for this time, so I want to make sure.
Yeah,
that,
thanks.
Thanks
so much. I mean, honestly, Bruno, Aaron, Spencer's Ghost, and David, this has been such a fun stream. These 3 games, Dan's been just like raving about everybody's just like so excited about them. I can't wait to be shipping them. I didn't give a tour actually of our space, so if you're watching this, you're curious if you're waiting on blinks or things like that, we've done some really cool things I've been excited to do, which is, we've opened up a shipping bay in-house, and all of the Sakura sets, all 150 of them.
Red is trapped.
Oh, is Red done?
Red's not playing anymore. Oh, Purple gave him this.
No,
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
So, we're shipping in-house. We're going to be assembling next week. Like everybody on the team is going to be programming Sakura set. And I just want to share that, we're so excited about this. As I mentioned, the next batch of Sakura set is already ordered. And so you're going to have to reserve that right now on the website. You just click that box that says email me when available, and to save your spot in line. Bruno, Aaron, David, such a treat. And really looking forward to people enjoying all your hard work.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week, Thursday at 1.
Yep.
And move38.com. And
We'll see you later.
See you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, blink on.
All right.
Blink on.
Oh, Yellow went out first.
Just hit dismiss.